Welcome to PopXcast, where science fiction meets pop culture. We're the podcast that covers everything pop culture and beyond the multiverse. Are you ready to get your geek on? Crank up the DeLorean, warm up the proton packs, toss a coin to your Witcher, and deep dive into your favorite plate of chimichangas. This is PopXcast.
You are listening to PopXcast, where science fiction meets pop culture.
Here we go!
PopXcast. I was born in it, molded by it. PopXcast. No strings on me. Autobots, transform. Smash! I'm Batman. By the power of Grayskull. PopXcast. We're doomed.
Goal here at Tyrell. More human than human is our motto.
Here's Johnny.
Never had a pet pony.
Hasta la vista, baby. PopXcast.
Captain's log supplemental.
Negasonic Teenage. What the
I am the one who knocks.
Excelsior!
Excelsior. It is another episode of PopXcast coming to you tonight on this November the 21st, 2021. What's up, Lindsay Badger?
What's up, Joseph Burke?
How you doing?
Welcome back to the PopX universe.
I know, right? It's always good.
I love it. I look forward to this every single time we do it.
I do.
It just keeps getting better.
And better. And then, I love it. It's so good, right? I mean, this is like, every 2 weeks I look so forward to doing this because there's this inner geek outlet that I have, and I have to it builds up.
It's like when you shake a soda can.
Yeah.
And you gotta let it release the beast of
all over your
goodness.
face.
Optional, but yes.
Okay. Oh man. So if you're wondering where the third guy is, Austin Burke, he should be here later
Who's that
on.
guy?
He had a little bit of a dinner party he had to go to. So we are hoping, fingers crossed, that he can get his butt back home and sit in his chair and help us review Ghostbusters. But
yes.
We it's not the same without him on the opening credits, I'll tell you that much. But anyway, moving forward, man, we have had a jam-packed past couple of weeks. There's been a lot of geek news happening in the world. We've had a couple of really great movies coming out, one we're going to be talking about tonight.
Lots of trailer droppage happening.
Lots of trailer droppage
Lots
happening.
of trailer droppage
so
happening.
much going on in the Spider-Verse right now. It's crazy. And with all of that, what's up? I want to give a quick shout out right now. We got Desiree, we got DC, John Poffenbarger, we got Jeremy Stoltz, we got Riley Rayer. What's up, Riley? Don't worry about it when we go and review Ghostbusters.
Oh, and Craig. Let's not forget Craig. He just rolled up in here. Where's everybody?
Craig?
The chat is popping tonight.
What's up,
we
chat?
Are not even. There's 11 people hanging out with us
That's
right
awesome.
now.
That's awesome.
Yes.
And we also got, RM Bloke. What's up? Oh, yay, another platform to play on. Good day, y'all.
Heck yes.
Well, hello from the land down under, I do believe. It's good to have you here on PopXcast, where science fiction meets pop culture. Lindsay, are you ready to open this thing up here on and just get the PopX rolling? Are you ready for this?
Let's do it.
All right.
Let's just roll all in it.
All righty, let's just roll all up in it. Hey guys, I am, this is PopX, where science fiction meets pop culture. I'm Austin Burke, the Appalachian geek at heart.
No, that's not you.
That was intentional. Had to do it.
Wait, what?
Austin, get your butt in here. You got one job. He's probably driving
he probably
on his.
has like 20 jobs, but we're just going to do his for him tonight.
Seriously, he's probably on his way home driving with us live streaming as we talk. Right?
He's probably like pedal to the
Dang
metal.
it, I got to get there. But anyway.
Blaring on the horn.
I hope he is. I hope there's some hornage going on there. But we'd like to welcome everyone joining us in the live PopX.live chat room. Come hang with us and join the conversation at PopXcast.com. Now, if this is your first time tuning in to PopX, for the first 10 or 15 minutes, sometimes 20 if we get a little bit excited over certain things, but we run down the headlines since our last show. And then we deep dive into all things nostalgic on the Retro Rewind. And at the halfway point, we hit the show's topic. So around 9:30, we'll be busting in some Ghostbusters, if you know what I mean. But I am Joseph Burke, Central Florida's seasoned comic book nerd and retro enthusiast. Now, I also want to invite you guys to join Lindsay and myself and a host of other creatives in our weekly live streams, The Creative Multiverse, now streaming on Twitch. We're gearing up for our third annual Art Worry this year with an 80s theme, so artists, it's time to sharpen up those pencils and get ready. The 80s is coming to Art Worry this year.
It's a good list.
We are very proud to announce our new Discord server as well. For a link to that and get connected to the Creative Multiverse and PopXcast and all things Creative Multiverse, be sure to look at the description link in this very stream that you're looking at right here on YouTube, and there will be a link to our Discord channel. You can join that and start posting some art and meet other creative collectives.
That Discord server still has the new car smell, so get in there now before
nice.
Somebody
farts
stinks
in
it up.
Yeah.
Well, Joe does like to fart. Sometimes.
I do fart a lot. It's true.
Yes, it is true.
I'm so sorry.
Well, I guess I should introduce myself now.
Okay,
you
go ahead.
Right?
Go, okay, yeah.
Yes, hi guys. I'm Lindsay Badger, your favorite geeky okie. If you missed the last episode we did, episode 133, we did go over the movie Eternals, and we rewound it retro style and threw down the Ghostbusters 2. Of course, it was only fitting to do that the week before the big release of this new movie. So make sure you go over to our official website, PopXcast.com, to make sure you watch that rewind and all the other rewinds that we've done in our archive. There's good stuff in there. There's good nuggets. I encourage you to go and check those out. All right. So if you guys... I like nuggets.
I like nuggets.
I like chicken nuggets.
I like nuggets and chicken nuggets and French fried nuggets and all kinds of nuggets.
Anyway, you like French fried taters.
I like taters.
If you guys are liking what you're seeing here so far tonight, and you may want to wait until the end of the show to make your final decision, I totally respect that. But if you are enjoying what we're giving you as entertainment tonight, make sure you're slamming on that thumbs up button.
Slamming on it.
Slam it. And if you want to come back for more, make sure you hit that subscribe button and throw that bell to the ringing position so that you get notified when we go live next. Joe's always really good about scheduling these ahead of time so you know what's happening with us. So there is that. Also, for our podcast people, that's right, audio only, we're talking to you. Please, if you're enjoying our content, make sure you go over and give us a 5-star rating and a nice review if you're digging what we're giving you. If you see what's going here.
I smell what The Rock is cooking.
Are you smelling it? Maybe we should shower. Maybe we should clean this chat room or something. It probably has sticky floors and popcorn.
We have a thing.
leftovers.
No, this is no joke, Lindsay. We have a thing that me and Alex always coined here, and this is the most grossest thing you'll ever hear. It's called vacation farts.
Oh.
And so it's when you're in a line queue at an attraction waiting to get on a roller coaster, and someone's just let the cheese loose, and you
have to bask in it.
Oh well, it's a combination. It's like really bad potato French fries meets. Yeah. Anyway, so you ready for some headlines?
Wow, that is the kind of high quality content we're producing here.
That
people.
was really good.
Stick around for more. Yes, please. Let's. We have a lot of news this week, so I think we should probably roll that out.
Yeah, let's do. All right, don't go anywhere. We're gonna let this one out for you. PopX News coming your way. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Extra, read all about it. This is PopX News coming to you live right here on PopXcast.com.
PopXcast.com. That is right. And coming up here on the top of the list here, if you guys have been living under a rock for the past, week or so, this big, massive thing for the shareholders of Disney has happened this past week from the 19th to the 21st. Today is actually the last day of it. D23 which is Disney's massive. And I'm talking. It's huge.
It's bigly.
It is. It's very bigly. But it gave us some really cool things this week that we have not yet seen. For example, we got to see Oscar Isaac as Moon Knight in the teaser. We got to see She-Hulk, first footage ever of Mark Ruffalo coming back as Hulk. And then we got to see, oh my gosh, it's so awesome. Also, too, some pretty interesting drops. X-Men 97, the continuation of the 94 cartoon.
What?
I
missed that nugget of news.
Where were you at?
So great.
And then we got Spider-Man freshman year. Spider-Man freshman year. That's going to be cool. Then we got Agatha, House of Harkness.
Yes.
Coming.
Because it's Agatha after all.
And it was Agatha. Also, too, Book of Boba Fett. Did you see that trailer for that?
It looks really good.
It looks pretty.
It looks beautiful.
Yeah.
If any, I don't know about anything about the storyline, but I do know that it's going to sure look pretty while they're doing it.
It's amazing. And then also, too, in the Star Wars vein of things, we got to see some concept art for the upcoming Obi-Wan Kenobi showdown. And it has been rumored, now this was released at D23, do you remember the giant lightsaber battle at the end of Episode 3?
Yes.
All right. So between Hayden Christensen and Ewan McGregor, that long lava fight. It's been rumored that there's going to be another lightsaber battle between Obi-Wan and Darth Vader.
Speaking of lightsabers, did you see the retractable fancy lightsaber toy that they debuted?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
We've been talking about that for months here on PopX, though.
I know, but we actually got to see it in real life demo action, and I was like,
yeah,
I just got shivers.
Pretty cool.
Little goosies.
It's an actual working, and from what I understand, it's not plastic. There's no plastic in it. It's it's metal first and foremost, and it's balanced. So the lightsaber has a balance to it, like as if you were actually wielding it.
And I believe you customize it like you do the other ones at the park.
You can get the crystals. There's crystals that you can put in it, so you can have a purple or a green or a blue or a pink. There's different colors depending on your kyber crystals, whatever crystals you put into it. So it's pretty interesting. Disney is really going on the deep dive on that one. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken,
I'm sure that price is pretty deep
about
dive
$350, $400 from what I'm hearing on the inside. So.
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit.
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit of a heavy hitter there, if I do believe so. But
I like all things Disney. It just gives me the good feels. So I'm excited for all the things that they have coming.
Same. All right, Linz.
Let's talk about some Ghostbusters because that's what we're here for.
That's
all right.
Why we're
here. Ghostbusters Afterlife finally hit theaters this weekend, and it managed to knock Eternals out of the top spot at the box office.
What?
After the Marvel movie reigned supreme for 2 weeks in a row. Really? Okay. Ghostbusters Afterlife took home $44 million at the box office domestically this weekend after its release in North America in 4,315 locations.
Wow.
According to Box Office Pro, the movie succeeded thanks to both older audiences who were kids when the original movies were released.
Guilty.
Hell yes.
Yep.
High five for
holding
that.
Up the hand. Yep.
And also for the younger audiences who showed up for stars such as Stranger Things, Finn Wolfhard, and Captain Marvel's McKenna Grace. Yeah. I mean, I was there for that too. I'm there for all of it.
I'm here for every bit.
I'm there for all of it.
Yeah, McKenna Grace, amazing.
Amazing. So the new movie has been out, has been met with mixed reactions, earning a 61% critic score on Rotten Tomatoes after 204 reviews. Comicbook.com Spencer Perry gave the movie a 2 out of 5, saying it was abysmally forced references. And while it's not poorly made on the whole, it just is exhausting. However, audiences seem to be more forgiving on the film, which has it as a 96% audience score after 2,500 plus reviews. I'm going to go with the audience score.
Yeah, I think
just leaning towards them a little bit more.
Here's the thing about it, and I'll break this down to you very quickly. A lot of your film critics today are used to films that are made today. Okay.
Right.
Now you go back to the 80s and you got Siskel and Ebert. The old school film critics of the old days. And you're looking at the generation gap. You got a 35-year generation gap there.
Yeah, that's a
and
big
so
gap.
movies made today are not like movies made in the 80s, first and foremost, okay? And so people that are going to the cinemas and critics that are going to the cinemas, they're imagining some kind of crazy epic blockbuster like, I don't know, the Snyder Cut or some kind of Avengers Endgame type thing. And honestly, whatever happened to going back and just telling a simple tale of teenagers coming into their own? I mean, I want to get into it later in the interview.
Yeah.
But this Ghostbusters
we'll
Afterlife literally embodies everything that an 80s classic has to offer. And I'll fight on that one. I'll fight you on that one. For sure.
You're going to
Not
fight
you,
somebody.
Lindsay. I don't fight.
I was going to say, you're going to fight somebody.
I'm not
going to
fight. I'm going to fight anybody. Yeah. But I'm just saying, I understand the rift, but at the same time, you got to understand the critics that are trying to review
You have
a film.
to appreciate the roots.
Some of these critics are out there, too, that wasn't even born yet when
I
part
question
2
if
came
they
out.
even watched the originals before they watched this one, honestly.
I don't know about that. But anyway, switching up on the news topic here. Well, I mean, we're just being real here, right?
We'll just stay in the retro vein for a
just
sec.
stay
We'll
in
just
the
switch
retro
the
vein.
titles around.
So this is an interesting one, and I had to do it. I had to do this, and you guys are going to crack up at this.
I appreciate that you did.
Okay, well, there's got to be some Barbie love along the way.
We're about versatility.
Listen,
here.
and we are. We cover G.I. Joes and Ninja Turtles and all that stuff. Why not cover Barbie? Why not? So one of the top Mavericks, Top Gun Mavericks mini release dates actually was this past Friday, November the 19th. Wow. Recently, the release date was pushed back once again to May 27th, 2022, but it appears that Barbie, based on Natasha Phoenix Trace, they weren't having it. They're like, you know what? She's doing this thing now, whether Tom Cruise likes it or not. So
That's right.
Monica Barbaro will be playing the role of the fighter pilot trainee Natasha Phoenix Trace in the forever upcoming Top Gun film. Now, forever upcoming, we say
the wording on this correct.
it's great.
Yeah.
It's
fantastic.
Is it ever going to come out? We don't know much about the Phoenix character, but it's clear that she's going to be formidable. Now, according to the description of the new Barbie doll based on her character, Natasha Trace is a supremely confident and capable pilot of fiercely competitive Top Gun flight school wit. Now, whip-smart and talented Phoenix commands the respect of her fellow pilots while conquering barriers in and out of the sky. Now, Barbie always finds inventive ways to reach young and old audiences alike, with its ongoing IP licenses and agreements. And it's kind of cool to see Barbie shifting things up a little bit, Me personally, this is not something I'm going to be...
So have you pre-ordered this doll yet, Jeff?
There'll be a fat no for me.
Well, I was a huge Barbie fan when I was a kid. I had all the things. So this makes my heart happy that Barbie is still thriving, and they are always innovating and trying to inspire girls. And it used to be a huge body image issue, but they've even in recent years changed that up to be more representative of various body style types, and skin colors and
ethnicities,
ethnicities and also professions. Barbie does it all.
Yeah,
okay, there's
like
not
Barbie.
a profession she doesn't do. So it doesn't surprise me that Barbie took on this role to try to represent that in a female role of having a fighter pilot position available. So I say
it's pretty gnarly.
That's pretty darn cool.
It's pretty gnarly. And you know what? Keeping on the vein of Barbie, this next news segment, she's actually had a Barbie as well.
Yes.
Lindsay Badger.
Wow, that segue though.
Did you like that?
I loved it.
Well, there is a Black Widow Barbie. Did you know that?
I did.
Okay.
And it's not an action figure. It's an actual Barbie.
All right.
So fans and industry insiders have a very good reason this year to believe that Scarlett Johansson is done with Marvel. After all, her character, Black Widow / Natasha Romanoff, has been killed off before she headlined her own film. Additionally, Johansson sued Disney last summer over Black Widow's hybrid release. While the suit was settled 2 months later, it still seemed unlikely Johansson would ever return to the MCU. Regardless, a new report on Deadline states that Johansson is plotting her Marvel comeback as a producer, not as an actress. Deadline's report indicates that Kevin Feige revealed Johansson as producing a top secret Marvel Studios project. Dun, dun, dun. Feige also confirmed that the movie in question would not be Black Widow related. Scarlett has lent her talent and star power to the Marvel Cinematic Universe for over a decade, said Feige. She has chosen to play a key part in it for so many years, and I am extremely grateful for it. Working with her has truly been one of the most memorable and rewarding collaborations of my career. So stay tuned for what she has in store, because that's going to be a really cool project.
This is really interesting because I feel like we're getting some pretty cool stuff from Scarlett Johansson. I feel that Disney thing where the lawsuit happened, and there
I feel
was
like
some,
it needed to be addressed by somebody. And
Yeah.
she has such a good, strong foothold in the industry that
Right.
she could make some waves a little bit.
I agree.
And recover.
And it's good to see that. It's good to see that Disney and Feige are willing to not only just mend bridges, but offer more opportunities beyond the role she's already been portraying. So
yeah, I'm glad that came out. Kind of, it shows that whatever issues there were got worked out, and so they're moving.
I
forward,
wouldn't
so
be
I like
shocked
that.
if she's involved on the upcoming Disney Echo project. Because here's the thing, that's a female character. Now, Echo is going to be premiered this Wednesday on Hawkeye. When Hawkeye drops on Disney Plus, we probably won't see Echo right away, but Echo is going to be a character in the new Hawkeye show. And so it was released at D23 that Echo is going to be another side-off spin show of her own. Makes sense to have ScarJo coming back in to direct
Absolutely.
it. Yeah, that'd be kind of cool.
Absolutely,
Especially for the choreography and fight scenes.
she's so
The girl
good at
knows
it.
how to throw down.
She needs to be a part of that.
She's pretty good. All righty, so what else we got here? And Lindsay, I'm going to give you credit for this one this week, man.
Yes.
This one just warmed my heart so much. There's nothing greater than warming my heart than the amazing collective of Sesame Street.
You know that feeling you get when you have like warm cookies come out of the oven,
Like sunny
I feel
days?
like, yeah, I
Bringing
feel
the
like-
clouds away?
Yes.
On my way to where the air is sweet. Can you tell me how to get to Sesame Street? But
Let's go.
comic creator and DC publisher, chief creative officer. I love that title.
That's
by the way,
title that I
Go,
can't fit
Mr.
on a
Lee.
business card.
I know. Excuse me, I'm the chief officer of DC Comics. Well, that's some big cojones to fill. Jim Lee has filmed scenes for an upcoming Sesame Street special focused on Asian and Pacific Islander communities called See Us Coming Together. Now, a Sesame Street special is the title of it. The special will also introduce the first Korean-American Muppet, a 7-year-old girl named Ji-young, played by puppeteer Kathleen Kim. I'm so excited, thrilled, and honored to announce that I'll be appearing on Sesame Street this Thanksgiving Day, welcoming its new resident, a 7-year-old Korean-American girl named Ji-young. Lee writes on her Facebook, "It's crazy and surreal to even write these words, but as a young immigrant boy who literally learned English from reading comic books and watching Sesame Street, I can say that truly this is a dream I had never imagined even possible."
I think that's so cool that
That
it's kind
is
of like a
cool.
full circle story for Jim to just come back to his
That's
childhood
so good.
and revisit that and just have that honor to be a part of it. That's just the coolest
It's
thing.
so good. And
Yeah.
I love that. I mean, I've always been a big Jim Lee fan. I remember when Jim Lee was working for Marvel and he was doing all these crazy
So
like
talented.
X-Men. Remember the 90s X-Men covers when you would there were 5 of them and you could stack them all together to make like a giant poster?
I remember those.
Oh,
yeah.
so old school. That's all Jim Lee, by the way.
And I love his take on the Batmans.
Oh, the Batman is just sick.
That's like his signature.
And
thing.
Superman. He can draw some soups, let me tell you. But really awesome. Catch that on this Thanksgiving Day. Check local listings wherever Sesame Street airs in your neighborhood.
I believe
you
it's
see what I did there?
HBO. Yes,
see what I did
HBO and
there?
PBS, I believe, are the
Really?
outlets it's
HBO
in.
Max?
Yeah. HBO owns Sesame Street now.
What?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
So
Reggie.
HBO Max and PBS, get it while it's good.
Okay. Well, we are almost at the half. Can you believe we've talked for almost 30 minutes?
Yeah.
Wow.
It feels like 5 minutes.
Are you ready
honestly.
for Retro Rewind?
Let's do it.
You sure?
Okay.
Okay. We'll be right back. Retro Rewind coming your way. Don't go anywhere.
Retro Rewind. Retro Rewind. Retro Rewind.
The Retro Rewind right here on PopX. You know, we always want to pick those movies that was just a little part of our childhood growing up. Previously, we've done some amazing John Hughes classics like Ferris Bueller's Day Off and The Breakfast Club. But, you know, we got to round this one out, and it's almost Thanksgiving. Why not do Uncle Buck?
Yeah, good old family feels.
And the
for this
pancake
week.
the size of an entire
Oh my
kitchen
gosh,
counter.
the snow shop. Oh my God, it's the best.
It's so good.
It's the best.
So I chose this movie particularly because it was one of those feel-good movies. Anytime I see John Candy's name as one of the title actors, I don't know what it is. I'm just magnetically drawn to John Candy. And you know, John Candy was typecast a lot as kind of like the slob character or the goof,
Yeah.
you know, in a lot of his roles. There's very few roles that he's very serious in. And but this one, I don't know, you get a very young Macaulay Culkin. And
Yes.
and
Actually, my kids were like, "Are you watching Home Alone?" I was like, "No, honey, this is not Home Alone."
I can see that though, because Alex came in. She was in. I don't think she's only watched it maybe once or twice with me, Uncle Buck, and so she was like, "Did you have Home Alone on?" I heard Macaulay Culkin. I'm like, "No, honey, that's Uncle Buck." She's like, "Oh, okay," but
I actually forgot he was in this movie until
a lot of people forget about that fact. This is one of his first ever roles as.
He's so cute in it too.
He's very cute in it, and to see him now and then at American Horror Story this past season was just so mind-boggling that. Holy cow, he's playing a vampire.
That's the same kid.
It's the same kid, yeah. But, Lindsay, let me just... I can talk all day about Uncle Buck and John Hughes and 80s movies, but I want to hear from you.
Okay, I feel like we should just bounce back and forth on these bits. But essentially, you know, he's playing the single brother, and his brother calls him up and says, "Look, I got to go out of town. We've got a family emergency. I need you to come watch these kids." And he's like the most unlikely to watch kids. So you know that's kind of sets you up for okay, I know how this movie's gonna go.
Yep.
It's very stereotypical style story, so it's very predictable. So he shows up, you know, he's getting his feel for the kids' personalities. You have the super bratty, snotty teenager that you have to deal with. You have the little girl that still has, you know, the monsters under the bed kind of thing going on.
Cute.
So he's having to balance. She was adorable.
That kid
So
is
he's
so
having to
cute.
balance between those two personalities. And then I feel like Macaulay Culkin's character was more of like the level-headed, most responsible of the group. You know, he's like sitting there washing dishes in the kitchen, and his mom calls, and he's like, "He's making me do everything."
Not only washing dishes, washing laundry in the dishes.
There's so much stuff happening there.
What
and then
is happening
it was
there?
So funny. But I mean, it's like every time you turn the corner on this movie, there is heartfelt, funny action happening there between the teenager boyfriend with the hatchet scene. That was hilarious.
Yeah.
Sorry, the alarm's going
It's time to go to bed.
Anyways, it's time to go to bed, everybody.
It's time to go to bed.
So, usually I mute this out, but it's my turn to talk. So, yeah, and you know, the wife is like super paranoid because one, her dad has a heart attack and she's worried about leaving the kids, but then she has to worry about this crazy person that she doesn't like having to take care of her kids too. So, I mean, there's like this whole mix of stuff. One of the funniest scenes that I thought was the dryer or the washer scene where the neighbor lady comes over and like is peeking through the door, and he's like he's fighting with the washer, but it doesn't sound like he's fighting with the washer.
It's very suggestive in
it's extremely suggestive. So I was just it's funny because it has the one-liners and the small moments that add up to an overarching enjoyable story that's told.
Right.
So I don't know, what do you have things to add to it?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's just got heart, and it shows. All of John Hughes' movies have this teen angst against it. And of course,
Yeah.
the teenager in this movie, you really want to hate her.
she's very angsty.
She's vicious. I mean, even to the point of wrecking Uncle Buck's entire love life and future wife, and just, I mean, she is backbiting, conniving. But then there's a very delicate moment when everything that Buck told her comes to happen, because boys will be boys at that age. And she is left very hurt, very vulnerable. But guess who's there not to question her about the night? To love her.
To give her some love and some
just
support.
to bring her home. I mean, that's just perfect John Hughes for you. I mean, it's great.
Such good feels.
I keep going back to this movie a lot because I love the soundtrack too. You know, you got that.
Oh, it's so good.
You got that wild thing, you know. He's walking down the hallway with the cigar and the sunglasses on, you know.
Yeah.
It's so good. I mean, I could say, I don't think there's anything technically I could pull apart on this movie. I think
it's just an overall feel good movie where it's like,
yes, Mr. Caliber.
They start like actor. You know, the sloppy single person that doesn't know anything, but then they end up growing and changing by the end of the movie into this better person at the end. And I think that's the reason why people love it so much. But also the other characters in the movie do the same thing. They all change together,
right,
and grow together. And I think that's kind of why people enjoy it and love it so much.
And there's another scene too I want to hit on. You know the scene where he makes his money by gambling?
Yes.
And he's in the car. He's got the kids. They're going to the track. And he's got this moment when he looks up in the rearview mirror. He realizes the error of his ways. And I think that was the pivotal turn moment for Uncle Buck and his story arc in this entire movie. He realizes it's not about him. It's about family.
Exactly.
And that's for me is just a beautiful thing to see. And I love it. And so, Lindsay, if you were going to rate Uncle Buck, like from you know, I know it's an 80s movie.
0 to 100.
Yeah.
Like we normally do. I would put I'm going to throw a 78 on this one.
A 78? That's really good.
That's not too bad.
That's not too shabby. No, I'm actually, and I think actually what I'll do is I'm going to just only go 2 notches up above you. I'm going to go 80%.
Okay, fair. I mean, it's a great movie. The time has treated it well.
It has. It shows up. It doesn't have any kind of crazy special effects, but John Candy making a pancake, that's pretty funny, dude. I mean, it's pretty good.
In that table spread after he was done,
can we forget?
I want to come over.
Let's not forget about the car. The car
the backfire. She was like, "Hold on, wait for
hold
it.
Your
Just
ears.
plug your ears.
Hold your ears." He's like, "Why?" Bow.
Speaking of waiting for it.
Oh my gosh.
Well, hello.
Well, what's up, Austin?
Yeah.
How'd you
I
doing?
fixed it.
How you doing, buddy?
Do I look okay? Do I sound good, everybody?
You made it.
You look like a sexy beast. Look at you.
You made it.
We were just wrapping up old Uncle Buck here. Did you have any thoughts on Uncle Buck?
Did you get a chance to watch Uncle Buck?
I didn't get a chance to rewatch it, unfortunately, but I do love it's another one, which we've covered a couple of these, another one of my dad's absolute
John Hughes, man.
Favorite. Yeah, and John Hughes is a beast, as we know, one of my favorite comedic coming-of-age directors.
Yes.
It's a very different movie for him, right, compared to some of his other movies. And Uncle Buck is definitely one of those. You've got your Shawshank Redemptions, some of your classic 80s, 90s action movies, and then Uncle Buck is probably in that tier of movies I watched with my dad growing up that he absolutely loved. So yeah, it
cracks me up.
Holds a special place in my heart, man. It really does, and it feels like a movie that holds up with its comedy, and of course the performances are all really great. So yeah, Uncle Buck is one that. And sorry if I'm out of breath. I kind of just sprinted down the stairs to get
all
here.
right, Austin, it's okay.
It's all right, buddy.
Calm down. Dude, this dude has been on fire all day. He did a live stream earlier today unboxing his plaque for 100,000.
Oh, you actually got your plaque.
Oh, he got the plaque. He got the plaque. Look at it.
Oh
See
my
it?
gosh, it's so shiny.
Yeah, look at that.
Pretty?
It's so
mirror.
It's so pretty.
Gosh.
Yeah.
Cute.
Let's see if I can look at that.
Cute.
Look at that. Look at that right there.
Look at that. It's so shiny.
It's actually like you would think it would be kind of cheap, but it was somewhat heavy. I opened it up. I'm like, oh my God, this is.
What did you say it was? Boston Irk or something? Some kind of funny name?
I said it would be me that they would mess up the name. So it comes out saying Bustin' Ark or something like that. I'm like, well,
be the most. You tried. That's funny.
Did they really mess it up?
No, they didn't. No.
Oh,
but
okay, good. I was like, oh my god.
No.
I was ready for it when I did the unboxing. I'm like,
Okay.
it's definitely going to be messed up, but it wasn't.
John
Oh, good.
Poffenbarger in the chat. Yes, it's Timothy Burke.
God, what's up, John?
Yes.
How you doing, buddy?
He also said, "Congrats on the silver button."
Thank you, guys. Thank you all. Yeah, I'm hyped. I just had pizza at a party, so I'm
awesome.
coming off of.
How's Sam
pizza
doing?
high.
Is he doing well?
Oh, he's wonderful. dude.
Shout out to
He was
Sam. How you doing?
So,
What's up, Sam?
so surprised. Yeah, we're approaching his birthday,
Aw.
and I may or may not have got him some. Hopefully, he's not watching some pop figures for his birthday. 'Cause he's been
Nice.
collecting pop figures. He's up to 10 now. So,
Oh,
Oh, 10.
wow.
yeah, it's pretty impressive.
Wow. I wish I could say 10. 100. But anyway,
1,000.
1 million. Well, are you ready to talk Ghostbusters Afterlife, guys?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
All right. So if you have not seen Ghostbusters Afterlife, please hit the pause button right now because we're going to be talking about some things that's not going to make your experience at all any good. So we're going to be talking about some things, some heavy-hitting things, especially those last few moments of the film. If you've not seen it, please pause, come back, watch it when you have seen the film, okay? We'll be right back. Spoiler alert warning, rolling now.
Danger. You are about to enter a PopX spoiler alert. Beyond this point, there is no return. You have been warned.
You have been warned. And we were talking box office numbers this week in Austin. I believe it's 44 million in the domestic. Not too shabby. Not too shabby at all, considering this is not a Marvel movie or any kind of crazy, this was good. This was great for Sony Pictures.
Well, and a movie that's been delayed, how many times now? And the projections, I believe, were 28 million. So the fact that it went that far over, they were projecting very low for this film, which they may have been doing that on purpose to say, oh, look, 44. But I still think that's pretty impressive given the circumstances. And I'll tell you what, everybody that was in my theater, there was a group of people that actually stood up and started clapping when the movie ended. So I think word of mouth is going to be really good for this movie. So second weekend, I expect.
I agree with that statement. Word of mouth is going to be huge.
Yeah.
Especially going into the second weekend because everybody that's seen it this weekend is going to tell everybody go watch it next weekend.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be shocked if this reigns number one for the following week. Is there any big movies coming out this week that could knock it out?
There's the Disney movie Encanto, House of Gucci, which I don't think will score too big. So maybe Encanto might eat into it, but nothing live action that I think is
nothing
going to
on a heavy hit.
affect
Okay,
I think it'll hold its
I do
ground.
too.
Well,
I
we'll
do
see
too.
what we can do about it. But anyway, so I got to turn it to you, Austin, first, because, I mean, you weren't raised in the 80s. You were born in, 93, 94, so you were 95. Oh, wow. Okay, you're young. You're more spry than I thought you were.
Such a wee babe.
That's a spry young lad. Well, now, we've been reviewing 1 and 2 already on PopXcast. We've got those out of the way.
Yes, we have.
What are your thoughts? I got to go to the critic first. What are your thoughts on Ghostbusters Afterlife?
Joy, happiness.
Yes.
There hasn't been a blockbuster this year that's evoked this sense of, and it's funny because, I watched Ghostbusters growing up, but it's not the franchise for me that carries a significant amount of nostalgia, right? There's nostalgia there, but nothing huge. I love the first one, right? But that's about as far as it goes. What this movie was able to do, which is exactly what I thought the 2016 version should have done, but didn't do. That movie, that doesn't exist.
That's a
in my eyes.
flusher.
It's bad.
Yeah,
it's really,
it's
really
pretty
bad.
rough. Yeah.
But what this movie does is it gives us a compelling story, compelling characters. It almost appeals to a little bit of a different audience, right? The first Ghostbusters, kids, families, they watched it and loved it. But this Ghostbusters, you actually have kids in the title roles, right? So this is a movie that is not only bringing in the older audience, those that have this nostalgia for it, that love the original movies, and they're nailing that audience, right? But now you got a brand new generation of Ghostbusters lovers because you have kids at the center. Not only, random kids, you got Finn Wolfhard from Stranger Things, who, everybody already loves.
McKenna
And then
Grace.
you have McKenna Grace.
Yes.
Is amazing as Phoebe. She is so good in this movie.
I fell so in love with her.
It was, I didn't expect it. I know she's a good actress, right? But capturing the essence of her. And of course, I mean, we know who her grandfather is, but that's a very specific type of character that it's really hard, I feel like, for a young actor or actress to nail, and she nails it, right? So you have a compelling lead, you have fun side stories along the way, and I'll get into a couple nitpicks here in a second, but they start finding all of these Easter eggs and things that people will recognize, and ooh, look at that, oh, look at that. They train, and then we go on this epic third act quest that kind of brings everything together. And who better to get than Paul Rudd with the comedic role?
It's so good, dude. It was so good.
When he's acting like the demon in the third act, I'm like, that is why you get Paul Rudd, because he's so funny, right?
Yeah.
But then, not only do you have all of those really cool things happening, but then the emotional impact. And Joe, I know I got a text from you when it was over. You texted me and said, man, oh man, the waterworks from the way this movie turns out. And I will admit, Joe, I was just as I got teary-eyed.
Yeah.
I genuinely got teary-eyed because of what they do. And, I've seen some reviews and honestly not scoring all that well on Rotten Tomatoes. To be honest with you, it was 61% or something like that. And a lot of the reviews are, basically they're leaning too heavy into nostalgia. And I can understand that to a degree, but some of the reviews said I didn't feel the passion behind it.
Ooh.
And I'm like, whoa.
Now, see, Austin,
are they dead inside?
If I may interrupt you just for 1 second, me and Lindsay were talking about this at the beginning of the show.
Okay.
All right, so today's film critics are very different than yesterday's film critics.
Yes.
Because everybody today is looking for films like Dune, Endgame, Infinity War, epic stories that have massive universes that open up. And you get to a story that's almost like a young Steven Spielberg style story where, you feel like you're watching Goonies or something along those lines. You got the misfit band of teenagers out doing their usual trope of whatever it is that they're doing.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of reminiscent of Siskel and Ebert, the old days of film critics. And I don't think today's genre, and I'm not including in you this because you appreciate the nostalgia, but a lot of critics today weren't even alive when the first one came out.
It's true.
And they're reviewing things on a whole new level because cinema today is not like cinema yesterday. We all can agree on that.
It's changed a lot.
It's changed dramatically. So I believe that's a little bit of what the breakdown is about, personally. I believe that that's why there's no emotional connection because they don't understand the first two films. And that's why they're detached.
Yeah, I was definitely mentioning that earlier, that I was like, I bet you some of these people haven't even seen the original two before they watch the new one, and it's just going in off of that one experience. You have to have a full spectrum to be able to appreciate this third movie because it is the third in a trilogy, people. You have to know the whole storyline.
I agree.
Well, it's a movie by the fans because, I mean, you could even go into who's directing it. Yeah, obviously a huge fan and by the fans, for the fans, okay?
Right.
But, sometimes we do, like, Rise of Skywalker they included a lot of nostalgic and Easter egg things, but they didn't have a good story to back it up, right?
Right.
Whereas this film has the story and the simplicity, Joe. I think that's the best comparison to make, is a Spielberg-esque 80s movie with the simplistic story, a group of kids discovering things for the first time, coming of age.
Yep.
You also implement all of that action. And what visual effects today are able to do is they're able to take what the Ghostbusters can do and make it so much more realistic and beautiful and lifelike. And yeah, sure, the third act, I felt as if it was maybe a little rushed prior to the beautiful ending. Maybe a little rushed, and I would have liked more from Finn Wolfhard's story. And yeah, it is kind of just a bunch of kids discovering things that will make fans go, ooh, ah, but the kids are so compelling and the dialogue is so engaging. What's wrong with that? You know what I mean? Like, what's the problem with that? So I, for one, thought Afterlife did everything it needed to do to be a proper follow-up to the first two Ghostbusters movies, and I hope they continue with this because I want to see where these characters go from here. I really do.
They are going to continue with this, as you well know.
They better.
If you sat in the theater long enough, you will know this. just so much great information there, Austin, that you just shared with us about your heart. And I love you as a cousin, but I love you as a film critic as well, because you appreciate the nostalgic as well as the new. Yeah. I mean, you can look at Dune on one plane and you can rate it and give it a review on that one, but then you can look at a movie like Ghostbusters Afterlife and appreciate the lore that comes with it. Mm-hmm. And a lot of critics don't get that. So I applaud you for what you're doing. But I think, honestly, for me, there was a couple of quirks. I want to talk about the couple of quirks right quick. It was with the teenagers. I had some issues, like when Finn, I call him Finn. I can't remember his name, but I just know him by his actor's name.
Trevor is his character.
Okay. Oh, yeah. When they went up to the mountaintop and they went down into the well and they looked in the well, and I never will forget, the look of the girl that worked at the burger joint, the love interest of him, Trev's interest. She went, oh.
Yeah.
All right, so if you're going to see a level 5 apparition in your face, and you're seeing a demon manifest right in front of you, are you going to go, oh?
Yeah.
I had a huge problem with that.
Did she ever get a name? I don't recall her name.
Burger Lady.
Yeah, Burger Chick.
Burger Chick.
Well, and
Spinner's Chick.
For Phoebe, for McKenna Grace's character, she says in the film, she's like, I handle overstimulation with calmness, basically saying I don't react. So they establish how she's going to react. Right. But why is her brother and why are all those kids, the demons fly out of the mountain and they're just like, oh, wow.
Dude, when I had that same reaction in the theater, I remember sitting there like, okay, let's go back to Ghostbusters 1. Yeah. Everybody in Manhattan's freaking out because, Gozer's on top of a building right now, and everybody, the entire block is freaking out.
Yeah. Right.
And then you've got 5 kids, and they're like, oh.
Can I take a stab at the explanation of this? It's probably not accurate at all. Okay, so we are stuck in the middle of nowhere, Oklahoma, by the way, if anybody didn't pick that up. Okay. This movie is based in a shitty town in Oklahoma. So these people have been experiencing these seismic moments for years. That's the whole reason why Paul Rudd's character is there. He is studying the tremors and trying to figure out what the heck is causing it all. And the town already knows about the dirt farm and how it's kind of haunted because it's always experiencing these weird unexplained things. And the city and the townspeople make many references to spirits. So it's kind of been happening for a long time. So I'm sure they're kind of like not fazed by the simple basic ghost experiences. But if something like what Joe was saying on the top of the mountaintop happened, I think I would be reacting a little bit differently.
I'll be wearing my brown pants that day. Let me tell you something right now. I mean, if there's a demon
in general, I think the not the new kids, obviously, but the locals, I would think probably would be approaching the experience of having a ghost in their life a little bit differently.
The locals are desensitized.
Yes, exactly.
I think, the new kids are just like, oh, well, we're exploring this. Oh, wow, that's an apparition. That's there's Muncher. He's a class 4. Okay.
Muncher's Josh Gad, by the way.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I saw that. Yeah.
Interesting cast on that one. I wonder if he did the facial 3D animation on that one as well. Probably facial.
Probably.
But anyway, I believe that was a couple of gripes, and there's a couple of gripes with the story arcs. Didn't really get any closure with, we got closure obviously with the end of the film, but there was some family stuff that I felt that could have been tapped into a little bit more.
Agreed.
And I'm hoping that Jason Reitman will have an extended version that will explore the last 30 minutes of the film. And, for me, the battle with Zod, not Zod, shoot. Get Zod. Now we're in Superman. Gozer.
General Zod.
General Zod.
You're talking about Gozer, right?
Gozer, thank you.
Yeah.
Gozer the Conqueror. I feel that was very rushed. Was that Olivia Wilde?
It was Olivia Wilde.
Yes, holy cow.
Yes. She looked beautiful.
That was an amazing Gozer, amazing
that
makeup.
Suit with all the crystal. Oh my gosh, it was
legit.
So pretty and creepy all at the same time. That's such a weird combination of feelings.
I feel that could have been expanded a little bit more. Like that battle scene, it felt very rushed.
It did feel a little rushed.
A little rushed, but
But again, do you feel like it needed to be dwelled upon because we already battled her once in the previous movies?
Sure. It's a good outlook.
It was a good outlook, but I think
it's like, yeah, we get it. With the concept, you kill the dogs, you kill the guy, you cross the streams. The fact that she uncrossed the streams was fun.
That's cool. Yeah.
That was really cool.
I felt that she was a little more powerful in this
She
one.
did. Yeah, she came back with a little, she'd been working out, doing some of those,
Yeah, Gozer been hitting the gym at Planet Fitness a little bit much.
90-minute abs.
Yeah,
tapes.
she's been pumping it up. But anyway, I kind of feel, though, I was hoping for that one climactic moment when something giant would come alive, like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man or the Statue of Liberty.
Yes.
I was
like
kind of hoping
some new
for it.
monster.
Or, something would just come out of the depths, like one of them would have thought, choose the form of your deceiver, or your whatever, and something would come out of the pit that was just hilarious. Nobody would expect it.
Yeah.
But, I understand it. I want to take it.
God?
Are you a god? Yeah, that's fun.
The answer is obviously yes.
Yes. So good.
How are we having a stumped moment on this? That's so fun.
Lindsay, give us some of your you went with the whole fam or just you and Josh?
We're going to have to come back and do a second round for the family because I had to squeeze this in because we did have to go out of town this weekend.
Gotcha.
So we had a little pressed on time, but I snuck in and got a matinee on Friday, and man, was this such a great movie. I was in love with Phoebe the entire time from the first time I saw her on screen where she's pushing her glasses up and, the whole chess game and finding the little meter on the ground and chasing it around the house, finding and connecting with her grandfather was so cool. And that really, really tied in that emotional moment that you needed to build on throughout the whole movie, which I feel is what actually makes this whole movie alone. The rest of it's extra. For me, that whole storyline with her and her relationship with her grandfather in the very end coming together with the ghosty feels. Oh my gosh. I did not expect that to happen.
I did not either.
And I just lost my mind. My whole face was wet, red, and ugly. And then the rest of the Ghostbusters showing up at the end and bringing their extra packs in to help defeat the bad guy at the end. Oh my gosh, that was just like the best thing ever. So the rest of the kids were great. I was actually surprised at how well they crossed the generational gap here.
They did.
And they told the story, and they were entertaining with even the little mini marshmallow guys with
I love those guys.
The grill where we're making s'mores, and that whole thing was great. Paul was funny. He wasn't like over the top stupid, but he was just the right amount of comedy that you needed to keep carrying and moving forward. But the character that I liked a lot was Podcast. Podcast was amazing.
He never had an official name either. He's just called Podcast.
No, his name was Podcast. Logan Kim is the actor's name, and he really carried this movie for the youth connection for the comedy. So you have adult comedy with Rudd, and then you have the youth capture with Logan Kim, and those two working together were just brilliant the entire time. So it's really a fantastic balance of fan service and bringing in the new audience and also pleasing the old audience. And it was just this nice little crock pot of love at the end of the movie, and I really, really appreciated how they did it. It really it did the series justice, and I don't even want to think about the other movie that they made with the ladies.
That's not even. We're not.
That's just not even right anymore.
We're not. And so we've all been talking about this last culmination of the moments. Let's just talk about it.
Yes.
We're seeing our band of misfit teenagers fighting, and Gozer is winning. That all of a sudden 3 streams of a proton packs come out from nowhere.
Yes.
And the camera pans up, and it's Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, and the whole trio are there, Ernie Hudson as well. And it was so good to see those 3 guys back in the uniforms.
Yes.
And Bill Murray was just literally all heart in this performance. He carried his wit throughout his performance, but remain true to the Venkman mantra because, he's kind of an airhead. Yeah. But it was just so well done. It was just, I was like, oh my gosh, this is so good. And I didn't know what was coming up next. But the moment that Gozer dies and we see that Phoebe is trying and struggling and holding, and then we just see this hand come down and grab.
That right there was the moment.
I was like,
that is
holy
the
cow,
moment.
it's Egon, it's Egon. And all of a sudden the camera
I'm getting
pans.
goosebumps right now
I know,
thinking about
I am
that
too.
moment.
And the camera pans up and it's Harold Ramis. I'm like, how the frick did they do that? It was so good.
Like visually there. Yes. Oh my gosh. So good.
I do. I have crazy good. I feel like myself kind of welling up here.
I feel like Harold's right here hugging me right now.
I mean, I'm telling you.
I understand, like, he's a transparent ghost, so obviously it's more believable, but don't you guys think that's some of the best CGI, like human CGI you've ever seen? Because oftentimes they struggle so hard to, like, when they were doing, Princess Leia and all of these other things, and they do it a lot in the Marvel movies, de-aging. And I understand, right? So they had an advantage because he was slightly transparent. But
so
even then, it was remarkable. Like some of the best effects I've ever seen making a person. It's incredible.
It was.
I knew that he was going to be in this movie, and I knew that they were going to be bringing some of those effects in. I didn't know how they were going to do it. Like at the very, very beginning of the movie when they're introing it and they're kind of catching you up on the times per se of what they've been doing, and that you never see his face. You see his hair, you see his body style, you maybe even see the rim of his glasses, but you never fully see his face until the very end of the movie. And I'm like, okay, that makes sense.
But here's another thing too that I really loved. They didn't have an actor coming in to impersonate his voice.
Yes.
Absolutely.
They kept him silent because he's in the ghost world.
Yes.
And it made so much sense. It
so
just,
powerful that way.
It was, I mean, that moment when we look up and he nods down at Phoebe. Good God Almighty! I got goosebumps.
And you can see,
I got goosies, man.
Aykroyd, Murray, they have tears in their eyes.
No, man, I got like freaking tears just talking about this crap right now. What the heck?
Because the scene for them to shoot this, right? Because clearly they're all doing this out of tribute, and for them to shoot this scene knowing that he's going to be present, you could tell they were all just about to break down.
Yeah,
like,
it was.
Oh my God,
it's heavy, bro. It's heavy.
Oh my God.
And I mean, Harold Ramis, was a profound storyteller and wrote so many amazing movies on his own. I don't know if you guys know this, but he wrote and directed Twins with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito.
That's such a good one.
I mean, and it's just, oh gosh, it's so good. But for me, that was definitely the highlight of the film. That was the moment when I was just sitting there, a hot mess in my chair in the theater.
Yeah.
I didn't have any tissues. I was wiping it on my shirt and on my sleeve, and it was horrible. It was disgusting. I had like things coming out. I had protoplasm coming out of my nose. It was great. I had a phase 4 electroprotoplasm. Anyway, it was just amazing. And then
we haven't talked about yet though.
Well, we got to get to the end scene, the credit post credit scenes. So the first one.
Loved it.
It was Bill Murray and Sigourney Weaver.
Oh,
and
so good. I'm so glad that she came back for this.
The machine that he was using in the first movie, Sigourney was using it on him.
Yeah.
But there's an interesting catch. Every time she held up a card, he knew what the card was.
Yep.
Yeah.
How did he know that?
They were marked.
Yeah.
You think so?
Well, she even asked him.
Well, I don't know, though, because there was no identification. Remember, in part 2, Bill Murray, his character, Peter Venkman, hosted a show called The Psychics. Remember that? Some kind of psychic show. And so I don't know. I think it was kind of a funny callback, but Sigourney Weaver giving Bill Murray a jolt of juice was hilarious.
Yeah.
Hilarious. Which good. It means that she's still part of this universe. She started, and we look, and it's back in a sitting setting. It almost looks like it could be Sigourney's old apartment or an apartment from part 2. We don't know where she's at, but it looks like a cityscape style setting. But John in the chat room, they were marked. Yeah, they were marked. Also, too, we need to talk about the second one, because the second one is
the second one was great.
Blow the roof off of everything. Austin, do you want to take the lead on the second post and give us a little breakdown on it?
No, you go ahead, because I got some thoughts. I got some thoughts.
You got okay.
Yeah, I got some thoughts.
we get a glimpse of Annie Potts. There's a scene that was I've never seen this. It must have been some kind of unreleased scene of Harold Ramis and Annie Potts talking about a coin. And he's like, this is a rare coin, and there's only like 2 in the world. And then it fast forward cuts to modern day, and she's sitting there holding that coin that Egon had gave her. And Ernie's talking about, I'm so blessed and fortunate that I've acquired, this vast enterprise of wealth, and I'm very humbled, and anything I can do, I can do. And the next scene, we see literally the door open on the old firehouse, and Ecto-1 rolling in. And so the assumption is he's bought the firehouse.
Yeah.
And he's redoing, and he is putting all of his money, well, not all of his money, but he's putting his money back into rejuvenating and reviving the Ghostbuster brand.
Well, and you saw that the vault was still blinking.
That's the thing, though. That's what I was getting to. The vault looks like it's about to have a major malfunction.
Yes.
Because it's been left untouched for 35 years.
It's about to
the
get
power
loose.
grid is about to go down.
Yes.
Austin?
Well, that's exactly where I was going. I mean, they're clearly teasing. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they not only, bring back everything nostalgic that we know, and I wouldn't be surprised if we get bring in more, bigger actors to play some more characters and do a full-on, not Ghostbusters Academy or anything like that, but have maybe multiple teams of Ghostbusters or Ghostbusters in train. Like, how cool would it be in part 2 if we join them and they're training new Ghostbusters?
Oh,
the possibilities are endless.
If you remember on that phone
Phoebe
call,
will be one of them.
Yeah, I think she'll be one of the main ones too, the big ones.
If you remember on that phone call that Phoebe made to the store, he explained that, in our heyday, there was, tons of us, and we were doing such a good job that we basically worked ourselves out of our business. So whatever they rounded up is about to get loose, and so they're going to have to do a lot more recruiting.
Does that mean that Ego the Carpathian from part 2 is coming back?
It's possible.
Vigo,
he's in there.
Vigo the Carpathian? I mean...
Yes.
I would be okay with that. Yeah.
That would be interesting. But we know Slimer's probably in the containment unit, and among many other crazy things that they've gotten. It would be interesting to see what had happened between the gap of the Ghostbusters 2 and the time they left the firehouse.
Mm.
What's that? Give us that. What's that 30 years there?
Give us an animated
something,
series.
Or some kind of maybe streaming. Bring the story out and give us the middle years.
Yeah.
But
the only character we're missing is Lewis, right?
Yeah. I know Rick Moranis is not
good old Rick. I don't think he's going to be showing up, but man, would not.
He was invited.
Complete set.
He was invited, but who's to say he may not come back? Who's to say he won't? I mean,
maybe he'll watch this movie and be like, "I want to be a part of the sequel."
Yeah,
Yeah.
But Rick Moranis' wife died. Mm-hmm. And that's what made him leave Hollywood to raise his children.
His family.
Yeah. And so this being such a family-driven film with children, that might be the thing that makes him come back. Rick, come back, man. We love you. But anyway, I know, but doubtful. I get it. So there it is, guys. I mean, there's so much to unpack in this movie. There's great exploration. It feels like you're watching an 80s action movie. I got a little bit of E.T. vibes. I got a little bit of Goonies vibes.
Yeah.
I got a little bit of all of that kind of, and it was really good. Really well done by Jason Reitman.
Yes. Did you want me to do my show and tell?
Yes. Do your show and tell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys, now we've broken down the movie, so you know where my head's at, right? When I'm walking out of the theater, and I see this.
Look at that, dude.
This is what I see.
Yeah.
When I walk out of my theater.
Let me see if I can spotlight you here. Hold on a minute. Let's see.
No.
Yeah.
I see this when I walk out of my theater, and I'm like, all teary faced, and I'm like, no, flipping way. You've got to be kidding me right now. This is crazy.
Yeah.
I see the Ecto-1
Look at that.
chilling
Look at
on a
that,
trailer. Dude. They are prepping for an event, obviously, for the night. But, oh my gosh.
It's an actual replica, dude.
I was so excited that I immediately called Joe on the phone.
She did. There were some FaceTimes involved in this.
Pull over. I don't know what you're doing right now, but you need to stop it and look. So I had to share this moment with you guys too, because oh my gosh, this is just such good geeky
and it makes
goodness.
sense that it showed up in Oklahoma. That's where you are, Oklahoma City.
Exactly. I am in Oklahoma City. Yeah. So this is at the Warren Theater.
Can we go back to the first one, that front shot?
Yes, hold on. I'll
that front shot's wicked.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Dude, that is crazy.
There we go.
Look at that. Look at the theater. That theater looks dope.
Yeah, this Warren Theater is like legit. I absolutely adore it.
Yeah.
But
that's awesome, Lindsay.
So that was what I got greeted with when I walked out of my theater. I was like, thank God I did a matinee today.
Right? That's awesome. Wow. Good stuff, guys. Good stuff. Yeah. Well, are you guys ready to officially give our review? Did we leave anything? I think we covered everything, right? I think we covered
I think we hit all the big points.
I think so. Yeah. This is good for Ghostbusters. This is good for the franchise. Dan Aykroyd had no idea when he wrote
Joe
the
didn't
first
get any
one.
Ecto Cooler, though. That was kind of a bummer.
And I've been tweeting and Instagramming them nonstop, and still no freaking Ecto Cooler. I might have to call on my 100,000 subscriber cousin to tweet them and see if they can get me some freaking Ecto Cooler. But they made it. And they didn't manufacture it. Like, they didn't distribute it. It's only for PR events. And I'm like,
that's dumb.
It's probably just leftovers from the previous movie.
No, that would not be lime green by 5 years from now. I mean, that would be disgusting. That was 2016, so that'd probably be.
Never know.
That'd be kind
preservatives.
Disgusting. Anyway, all right. So let's start with ladies first. I'll go, then Austin. All right, Austin.
Oh my gosh.
What you got, Lindsay?
How do I even put a number to this other than like 97?
97. 97.
I'm going to put 97 on that, by
Dang, girl.
Wow.
It's good.
Did you hear that, Matt Sanders?
I want to like double dip on this viewer. I want to, as soon as I walked out of that theater, I want to turn back right back around and go buy another ticket and go watch it again.
Wow.
I love this freaking movie. It's amazing.
Holy Matt Sanders. I love you, Matt Sanders, from the Ghostbusters containment unit. I know you're watching. Yeah, 97. That's dope.
97.
I'm going 88%.
Very nice.
I'm going 88. I mean, it was dope. It had everything I wanted and then some.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 78, which is still, I mean, going in with my expectations, not low, but like, okay, this is gonna be good. I walked out just, I ready, like Lindsay said, I was ready to go back into the theater.
I really just wanted to flip right around and get a refill and go back for it again because it was so good.
It's a great movie. It's a great movie. Good job, everybody involved with this film. I can't wait to see another one.
Good
Golf
job.
clap.
Lived up to the hype.
Golf clap.
Golf clap, guys.
All righty. Well, there you go, guys. That's the official PopX score of Ghostbusters Afterlife. Hope you guys enjoyed that. And Austin, right at the last minute, coming in to save the day. He's here to give his review. Again, huge congrats to my amazing cousin here for literally reaching 100,000, getting the plaque, opening it up today on his show. Dude, you're just kicking some butt, taking some names. We love you.
Thanks, man.
You're welcome, bro. All right, so you ready to wrap this up?
Yes, sir.
Let's do it. Go ahead, Austin.
Kicking names and taking butt. I'm Austin.
I like taking butts.
Love taking butt. You guys can find me at the Burkinator on Instagram, Letterboxd, the twits.
We love the twits.
We love the twits. I'm a twit. We are part of the newly formed
Knit twit
creative group known as the Creative Multiverse. For more great media content and artwork, find us on Facebook groups and now on Discord. Discord at the Creative Multiverse. If you are a creative, produce content, or have a talent, we would like to see it. We would like for you guys to share it with us in the multiverse. Y'all, we get the Discord. We got the Discord.
We got Discord.
Everybody
now.
needs to get up in there. Get all
We're
Discord-like.
We're Discording.
I
Okay.
feel a Discord going on.
You see Discord?
Speaking of Discord, you can connect with us on all other social media sites as well. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Tumblr, Twitter, and everywhere else on the internet. At PopXcast is the handle. Make sure if you're wanting to send us an email for some reason, you can send it over to our address, popxcast@gmail.com.
It's true.
And for any future and past shows that you're curious about, you can go to our official website, www.popxcast.com.
And I am Joseph Burke, a.k.a. Joseph Burke Arts, all over social media. Of course, hats off to my amazing team, PopX, as always, Austin and Lindsay. Thank you, guys. And that's it for this episode. But we'll see you next time. Check this out, guys. Already got the graphic made if you're watching on the live stream. Yeah. There's episode 135 for you. We are going to be talking about the first 2 episodes of Hawkeye, and on the Retro Rewind, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Coming to you right there.
Did I break wind clock? Is Rusty still in the Navy clock?
Yeah.
All right, so we'll be reviewing the 1989 timeless classic with Chevy Chase. You have to. It's December. You got to.
It needs to happen. Yeah. It needs to happen.
Go get my stogie. All right, so you guys have an amazing rest of your night. We'll see you next time in 2 weeks right here on PopXcast. Take care, and we'll see you next time.
From everyone at PopXcast, thank you so much for listening. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and click that notification bell so you know when we go live next. Drop us an email, popxcast@gmail.com. Throw us up a like on Instagram and all those other social media outlets at PopXcast. Until next time.